All right. Zoom this in so we can all read it, because Jagex has just announced Varlamore Part 1 rewards changes. I haven't read this yet. I know it came out this morning. I thought I'd wait until the live stream so we can discuss it. I don't know what's going to happen. I can barely remember the last time they put a post out, but we'll have a look. January the 11th on Thursday, we're back with a brief update on some of the bits within the poll blog. For starters, we're delaying the poll, which will now take place between Monday the 15th and Friday the 19th. No one cares. All right. Main reason for today's blog update is that we're going to be shelving the Bladed Moon again. What's the Bladed Moon? Which one was that? We've done this once before and said we'd resurface it after making our intentions for the Scythe and the Fang clear, which we did, and it's clearly still not hitting the mark for many of you. That's the long and short of it. We'll go into a little more detail on why we've made this decision in case you'd like a bit of light reading. Okay. First up, perhaps the most widespread from our feedback we saw yesterday is that the Bladed Moon just isn't resonating with many of you, including the people it's aimed at. While it seems many of you understand what the moon is trying to achieve, it feels like the actual execution and numbers behind it aren't hitting the mark even in light of newer context. Some of this concern stems from how well the moon keeps pace with the Avernic Defender and that its power is disproportionately high for an item reward from content that's branded as all-round Barrows tier. Okay. I just want to go out and, before we continue this, go out and just make it very clear that when it says we're not hitting the mark for many of you, and what else did they say? Including the people it's aimed at. I don't know who this is. I don't know who Jagex is aiming this content at. Like the weapons rework with Scythe of Vitur and Osmond's Fang. And I say this with great confidence because very recently I've been doing a lot of raiding with people I've never met before. People I don't know. They're just random people from other people's streams, other people's communities, random people. A lot of, like, I did TOB the other day with someone who had 1300 TOB KC, Torva, Scythe, everything. He's obviously done his TOBs, and he is easily one of the dumbest and shittest cunts I've ever raided with. He has tunnel vision when he raids, no team awareness, no clue what's going on. It's a lot like, and I know that KC doesn't matter, but after 1000 KC, you got to have a clue of what you're doing. And I think people like that, I strongly believe people like that in that part of the game that only raid, I think they are the people that this feedback is going towards. And I personally believe that people who are endgame PVMers, not casual raiders, hardcore raiders, I genuinely believe that they are so disconnected from the game that it's not even funny. Like this is a bad idea. A lot of the rework that Jagex is doing, like the Fang nerf, is catering to idiots like that who don't have a clue. I genuinely believe that. For the good of the game, it is not hitting the mark. It's not going to ruin the game, I'll admit, but they are definitely catering to an audience of people who are not smart. These are unentitled, brainless twats. They really are. I think 1000 KC people are probably brain dead. They really are not very bright, man. I am shocked. Today I did a Cox with someone who had a 19-minute 5-man CM time, and he was just the most arrogant, big-egoed piece of shit I've fucking raided with in a while, and he was bad. He was meant to be setting melee hand. He had no clue what was going on. And all he did was just say arrogant, annoying shit to everyone else in the raid. Like, it's just... These are the sort of people that Jagex is listening to and trying to cater to. Chaos Wisdom said they just want to appeal to the degenerate basement-dwelling neckbeard fucks. To be honest, that's essentially it. And they're not very switched-on people. They're really not, I promise you. I'm worried that this is what Jagex is catering to. I haven't seen the rest of the blog yet, but I know looking at the Nerf blog, the weapon update blog they did the other week, and then playing with some of these people is really bad. It's not good at all. The stream better not be fucking choppy. Are we okay? It's just you? Alright, cool. We'll continue. While we've seen some players suggest the Event Defender could be improved to create a larger space between itself and the Dragon Defender, which could be filled by a weaker Bladed Moon, we feel this is a separate topic and slightly beyond the scope of what we're looking to achieve with Perilous Moons. Okay, since many of you have concerns about weakening the appeal of Theatre of Blood, since many of the rewards from Oldschool's second raid have been power crept by newer offerings, and that offering a more obtainable alternative to the Avernic Defender might diminish the raid's appeal, which isn't something we'd like to do, especially with Perilous Moon's intent being to pipeline more people into learning about PVM, hopefully inspiring to become top enjoyers themselves. So in other words, people are worried about the price of the Avernic Defender dropping with new content. On top of this, some feedback felt that pairing the Blade of Saldor with the Bladed Moon resulted in a damage output that's equivalent to, or in some cases better than, the current combination of the Fang and the Avernic Defender, which I don't think is a bad thing. It undermines some of our efforts to make the Scythe stand sufficiently clear of second best options at some content. We believe it's a valid point that's been well argued by many of you. I think if you want the Scythe to be best in slot at content, you have to make the content best in slot for the Scythe. You have to stop buffing gear around content and start making content around the gear. How close are we to the fucking ceiling? If you want the Scythe to be best in slot at Vardavis, make him 3x3 or make the Scythe hit 2x2. The Scythe is best in slot at Duke provided you use a BGS, right? Which it's going to be once the Fang/Nerf comes in. Those are perhaps the two most widespread sentiments we've seen in responses. Okay. We've also had players reach out to us about concerns that aren't as immediately obvious while still being impactful in ways we hadn't initially intended. First, this relates to pairing the Bladed Moon with the Dragon Dagger and resulting in the iconic dagger becoming a more potent special attack option than the equally iconic Dragon Claws in a number of scenarios. Given the difference in availability and cost, this is actually a pretty substantial point around an issue we hadn't anticipated, since we're not looking to shake up the special attack DPS meta with this offhand offering. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem and a strong point, because the Dragon Claws are incredibly expensive and are bottlenecked by the fact that they can't have offhands, right? They're a two-handed weapon. I fail to believe you haven't had a dev job. This is a great idea. Wrap content around gear and not gear around content. I've never had a dev job. I don't understand dev at all. I just play the game, and I play the game. I don't restrict myself to just doing end-game raid content. I can do it very well, but I also play numerous Ironman, and I try my best to see the player base and the way the game is and develops. And I have a lot of my community, a lot of you guys in the chat. In fact, I dare say 95+% of you guys in my chat are fucking shit at the game. You're dog shit. A lot of you haven't raided. A lot of you aren't very good PVMers. A lot of you aren't very fucking confident at clicking even. And I like that. And that's good. And that helps me see a different side of the game. Take that back. How about you suck a dick? You know it's right. I try to... I think that's better. That gives me a better insight to the game. Because you guys, at the same time, you guys teach me shit I don't know. Right? I see another side of the game, and I also see concerns of people who struggle with content, and it helps me relate more, which when I make my guides, I relate to the, dare I say it, more simple-minded gamer who doesn't need to be overwhelmed with information. We did fail a Temporos game earlier, absolutely right. I'm only good at TOA, which means nothing to me, because TOA is your first raid, and that's fine. I'm terrible at PVM, there you go. And I think that helps me see it more than people who want to play in their own clique. If you're offended by that, then good. The second of these relates to imbalancing PvP at some brackets. Okay, where builds with 65+ defense, generally 70 to 75 defense med builds, gain a huge increase in offensive potential against builds with lower defense, typically 45 defense Zerk builds or level 1 defense pure builds. While we know this won't be a deal breaker for some of you, we feel it's important to support builds like these, since they tend to be easy to build while serving as solid empty points for aspiring PvPers who would sooner improve the ability of these account types to punch up than see even more people trend towards these higher level builds. It's a delicate balance that we're not looking to upset further at this point. That's understandable. I get fuck PvP, but if they can consider this at least and try to manage around PvP builds, then you keep that side of the community happy at least, and they shut the fuck up. You did miss the Wintertodt opening, yes, but I have recorded it. Top was my first raid. It's a good raid. Alongside all the above, there was a sense of uncertainty about where the Bladed Moon might sit after you got more information on Project Rebalance, which means some of you felt uncomfortable with voting on such an impactful item without knowing what the surrounding context might be later in the year. Fair enough. We completely understand and don't want you as players to feel like you're voting based on changes we might end up making down the line, since it detracts from your ability to make an informed vote. Understandable. Cool. To sum up all the above into a convenient TLDR, we read it, doesn't matter. Taking all of the above into account, we've made the decision to not move forward with the Bladed Moon at this time. This doesn't mean we're not open to exploring a healthier means of achieving that mid-game slash upgrade with another piece of content in the future, as well as taking a look at crush progression, since this is something we may, something else many of you have been talking about since we first released the blog. Perilous Moons will still boast 3 really cool armor sets that you can grab for fun or sell for GP, and without giving too much away, we'd like to say these fights themselves are just fun. Cool. Fun fights are always good. We'll likely look to replace the Bladed Moon with an untradeable that ties directly into quality of life when interacting with Varlamore or Perilous Moon specifically. Something like a convenient teleport offering or some other buff to the content itself, but ultimately feel like the content itself is still in a really healthy spot and can't wait to see you all get stuck into it. Yeah, whatever. All right. Just started. Don't have any of the said items. Yes, the said items don't exist in here. Oh, you mean the blade and stuff? Yeah, if you just started Runescape, that's fine. You'll get to it eventually. Before we sign off, we'd like to reiterate that for the questions surrounding the Glaive of Ralos and Echo Crystals, if those questions don't pass, then the pre-existing iterations will still be implemented, meaning the weaker Glaive of Ralos and Crystals pairing with Guardian Boots, since they've already passed. Alright, cool. That's good to know. Alright, that's all we've got for today. No worries, thank you for reading. No, fuck the audio read. I am the audio read. So we've got this is the new one, right? The Glaive of Ralos is a thrown weapon when charged, deals 2 attacks, each of which deals between 0 and 50% of your max hit. Okay, that's pretty cool in itself, but the Glaive also has a groovy special attack which reduces the target's defense by a percentage of their magic level on hit. This slots in beside other defense reduction options like the Dragonwall Hammer and Boundless Godsword and often forgotten Dorgeshan weapons. Trust me, they're not fucking forgotten. Normally, these funky effects come with a trade-off in terms of raw damage. However, the Glaive has polled doesn't actually do much damage at all. Remember how we said each attack rolls between 0 and 50% of your max hit? Okay. It's not that awesome as it sounds in Oldschool RuneScape. When you go to hit something, your attack can hit or miss. However, you can also hit and roll for a 0. When the successful hit is rolling between 0 and 50%, it actually increases your chance to roll 0. Not exactly badass feeling. Okay. Okay, so should we adjust the Glaive of Ralos as described in the blog, which means increasing its range strength from 45 to 55 and clamping its damage to 75% of your max hit, up from 50. So that means, okay. So basically just buff the fuck out of it. Sure, why not? I don't see why not. 10 range strength isn't a big deal, and 75% of your max hit twice is fine. Because, yeah, your odds of hitting the 0 are higher. Sure, why not? Good luck, Robbie Kill, man. This whole update just seems like dead content. I don't necessarily think so, but you got to remember, like, if all you do is endgame content, it's like if they release Barrows today, for example, it's going to feel like dead content to you because it's fucking worthless compared to, like, more casual players. Which, again, like I said, is a lot of, like, my player base. Like, only, like, a very small percentage of the active RuneScape player base can confidently do endgame content. And I don't mean doing expert TOAs. I mean, like, pushing high-end combat achievements and sending speed runs and sending your Inferno runs constantly and pushing hard mode TOBs, challenge mode chambers, and, yeah, I guess 500 TOAs and whatever. Non-stop, you know? There's a very small percentage of the player base can do that compared to most players. 95% of the player base is casual. Absolutely, yeah. And you see it way more on YouTube than Twitter and Twitch. You see the casual player base way more. Look how many people watch Settled, for example, and watch it like a Settled video. He gets, what, hundreds of thousands of views in a video in a month? Just on one video? A lot of those players are active players. Active casual players. You will never see them anywhere else but on YouTube watching just Settled and Bodhi videos, and that's it. And they just play casually. They haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. They'll never see this. They'll never go on Twitter. They'll never go on Twitch. They probably don't even know this update's happening until it fucking happens. I don't see a use for these items for casual players either. Well, it's a defense draining weapon that you can obtain reasonably early. It depends how early you can obtain it. It depends. I don't know. I haven't thought about this at all. I don't know. I don't even know how to achieve this. Lead poisoning. Thank you, man. Did you lose plate body? Not anymore. It's back. You're good. I get sweaty on WoW retail enough, so I'm casually maxing on OSRs. That's fair. Echo Crystal. If all that matters didn't make you recall, this suggestion definitely will get it recall. Okay, shut up. All right. So should we allow Echo Crystals to be used on the Tots Ket Zil, Malediction Ward, and Odium Ward instead of Guardian Boots? Combining the Echo Crystals with these shields would add a 3x3 AoE recoil effect consumed on charge for each recoil activation and a +2 prey bonus. The Tots Ket Eel is the Obby shield, right? I reckon use it on the Guardian Boots. I think the Guardian Boots are a better choice. Because if it's on the Guardian Boots, Guardian Boots arguably become best in slot, right? Guardian Boots will be better than Primordial Boots in content where the recoil effect matters, where it can damage. Shields is dead content. Well, they are, especially when you end up getting a Shadow, or a T-Bow, or a Bofa, or using a Magic Short Bow, Crystal Bow, or you're using a Tome of Fire, or you've got a Defender, right? What if they made the Slash Defender work? They're not bringing the Slash Defender into the game though. Get its slash bonus after some attacks. That's why it won't ruin spec weapons because nobody is main handing a DDS for 5 attacks. That's not a bad idea, to be honest. Not a bad idea at all. Something like that. I think keeping this on the Guardian Boots actually contests with Primordial Boots really well because Prims are not very fucking powerful, right? But this recoil effect, if you're tanking Verzik, for example, and you're taking constant 10s and 20s, you're dealing 2-3 damage back every 5 game ticks when she's in her enrage phase. Just as fast as you can attack, you're dealing extra hits. More than the 1 max hit that the Prims give you. I think the Guardian Boots with the Echo Crystals would be a better fit all round. And it opens up diversity on boots a lot more. These shields are like not coming back because it's Echo Crystal. That will not fix these shields. Defenders are too powerful. Bows are too strong for Odium Ward. And Malediction Ward, I guess, can find some balance until you... But no, you can't. What's a Malediction Ward worth? Price Malediction Ward. $2 mil, right? A Malediction Ward is worth as much as the Eliteness Ward thingy from TOA. So why would you use a Malediction Ward over the TOA Ward? If you had to use a charged staff. You wouldn't, would you? Need to make the boots attack style specific? Yeah, well maybe they'll bring new boots in. That's what they should do. Sunfire Runes, we're taking a brief break from poll questions to clarify a few points about Sunfire Runes. These powerful spell catalysts were made for, yeah, whatever. Okay, so what are we doing here? First change we made is to rename Sunfire Dust to Sunfire Splinters. You'll combine this with Rune Essence, Pure or Day to taste, and regular Fire Runes with the new Sunfire Altar found in Varlamore. The Varlamore Altar is visually distinct from the Rune Altars. I don't care. Number of Sunfire Runes crafted persons will now scale with the Runecraft level in much the same way as multiple runes at once does currently. Okay. Why the fuck is this in the poll? Okay, thank you for mentioning the runes. Sure. The Bladed Moon. Okay. The Bladed Moon was initially pitched as an untradeable offhand weapon with a hefty buff to slash accuracy in exchange for poor defensive capabilities and a lower strength bonus than the Dragon Defender. Unfortunately, due to the concerns about the impact this reward would have on Osmond's Fang and the Cypher Vitur, we decided to pull it from the poll. Sure. Alright, now we've published Project Rebalance. Our intentions to the thing have changed. Have we not fucking read this already? Well, our goal for the Bladed Moon was to create the offhand suitable for mid-game players. Our target audience for the Perilous Moon's activity. It's an upgrade from Dragon Defender in certain scenarios, and also fills the gap between Dragon and Avernic, which is almost non-existent. It's as big as the gap between Arams and Ancestral, between Blade and Scythe. Okay. One of those common questions we saw last year was why isn't there a Crush boosting weapon, which is valid. Ultimately, Crush accuracy is best paired with Dragon Hammer and Inquisitor's Mace, which see more use at high levels than middle ones, yes. For that reason, we don't think it's the right fit for Bladed Moon. We also saw concerns about where the Bladed Moon would fit into the meta. Currently, the most powerful slash weapon is a two-handed Scythe. Since it's two-handed, it can't possibly use offhand with the Bladed Moon. This neatly confines this reward to players who don't yet have a Scythe, but you know what they might have? The Blade of Saldor, which is historically underperformed against weapons of a similar tier in other combat styles. Not, what? No, it fucking hasn't. The only reason it underperforms against the Rapier is because it's twice the fucking price, but it's... What? Okay. The Bladed Moon also shines when paired with one of the most iconic tier, mid-tier weapons ever, the Abyssal Whip. In this way, the Bladed Moon becomes a worthwhile goal for any mid-level adventurer who isn't yet able to spend the requisite millions to get their hands on the Scythe. Made a small change to ensure the Bladed Moon fits nicely beside the Defender. Previously, the concern was that the Avernic slash accuracy was significantly lower than that of the Bladed Moon, considering that it only had a +3 strength bonus between them. With that in mind, we've lowered the Bladed Moon strength bonus from 5 to 4, which means the Avernic Defender's whopping +8 should almost always result in better max hits. To reiterate, slash accuracy in an offhand isn't especially desirable in existing high-level metas, so the Bladed Moon is unlikely to devalue your hard-earned endgame upgrades. Alright. Leaf Bladed Battle Axe plus Bladed Moon will be bonkers? Yes. When you combine all these with the project rebalance changes, including changes to the Fang slash potency, the prevalence of defense reduction in endgame, and our intent to develop low defense bosses with the Scythe of Viturk and Shine, the Bladed Moon suddenly has much more potential. We believe this is just right for mid-level players without reliable access to defense reduction methods. And thanks to these changes, it won't shake things up for players who are already facing greater foes. 59 fucking slash accuracy. Holy shit. What's a Dragon Defender do? Where's Dragon Defender? Dragon Defender is +24 slash and +6 strength. It's got decent range defense. It's actually not bad range defense. Okay. I love how it's +0 crush but +1 11 stab. Okay, that's fine. I would wear this over the Dragon Defender, easily. Would I wear it over an Avernic? Probably too, yeah. A lot of the time. Bladed Moon has better defense stats than Avernic. Yeah, yes it does, except stab. And crush, but it has better slash defense and range defense, obviously. What I'm hearing or listening to in between the lines is we aren't far off from having an offhand weapon of Lao of a Defender Shield. I don't know. This will be best in slot, no contest at Vard. Yeah, I think... I mean, I don't think it's necessarily wrong or bad. I mean, it purely depends on what you're fighting. As long as it doesn't put the Blade of Saldor past the Scythe, it doesn't matter, really. Let's be honest. If it puts the Blade of Saldor and the Tent Whip like right up there, but not past the Scythe, then it's totally fine. But like I said, you have to make the content best in slot still. It does. You're telling me a Blade of Saldor on this is better than a Scythe in Theatre of Blood? Because a Scythe can hit like 70. It hits 3 times. Per swing. 0 crush is fair, because that means it doesn't benefit the Dragon Warhammer. At Varlamore it'd be best in slot, sure, but you don't scythe Varlamore. Should just open up better slash methods for mid-game players, not pass scythe, totally right. Yeah, as long as it doesn't pass the scythe, that's fine. It honestly brings a decent amount of value to just the Void Waker in general. Okay. That's real. Okay, I don't mind it. Provided it does that, that's not super bad. But they need to be making content that suits their metas, not trying to form new metas. They already fucked it with Theatre of Blood. Theatre of Blood and pretty much any content before the Nightmare already fucked. Already got fucked by. It was already fucked the meta, sorry, because it's a strength bonus, low defense, high slash accuracy meta that was formed, right? Unless it was a dragon, then it was Dragon Hunter gear or stab, and Crush wasn't a thing until the Nightmare came in, right? No one used Crush otherwise, it was fucking dead. Everything was low defense, and then build as much strength as you can. That's why everyone raves about fighter torsos and strength bonuses, and people are convinced that if you don't have a fighter torso, you're falling behind on combat. I will out PVM you all day in a fucking Derek plate body. It doesn't matter. Then next came along, where stab became somewhat important, and then TOA came along, and now it's high defense with no defense reduction or limited defense reduction mechanics, and an incredibly accurate stab weapon. Now the meta is shifted. Well, the meta is shifting under people's feet because everyone's lost their mind over years, and 8 years of just Theatre of Blood, 8 years of strength slash. That was it. Now it's not. Now Jagex is trying to change the meta around content. They need to add more content for the meta again. It's better than the Scythe. Go use the calculator. You're telling me that in Theatre of Blood against Verzik, we'll use Verzik for example, a Blade Assaildor with the Bladed Moon will be better than the Scythe on Verzik. Sure, DPS difference between Arclight and Dragon Defender and anything else is minute for Duke. Probably. I wouldn't have a clue. Assuming you have the slash ring, yes. Is the Scythe's got like twice the max hit though, does it not? The Scythe hits 3 times, and if it hits 40, 20, and 15 or whatever, 40, 20, and 12, it's doing 70 plus damage every 5 game ticks. 5 tick broke, yeah, so? It's hitting 3 times. You can't just add slash numbers and say it's better. The Scythe attacks harder if it's was equal, it would be insane. I don't see the blade with this being better than the Scythe in Theatre of Blood. It might be, but I don't see how it could be. I use calculator. So if I delete that and we just put this as none, and then go custom, and what was it, 59 and 4? It's nowhere near. It's a whole 1.3 DPS less than the Scythe. It's more accurate for high max hit, but like this 59, and then it hits for up to 25, and then it hits for up to 13, right? Or up to 12 or whatever. Pretty sure it rounds. It shouldn't make a difference. And if you go Verzik Spider, it's even worse. Scythe's even better against Verzik Spider. Maiden. It's better on Maiden. I mean, if you Warhammer, say you get 2 Warhammers off, it doesn't make a difference, does it? Bloat. What else you got? You got Nilo. Which one is it? And you got Soap. And then Zarpus. So through the entire raid, the Scythe is better than the Blade Assaildor with the with the Bladed Moon, even with the Bellator ring. Compare it to Duke and Vardavis. Well, Vardavis, you don't use the scythe on Vardavis, do you? Because Vardavis is too small for the scythe to hit. Because Vardavis is 2x2, so the scythe loses. The scythe is actually only just worse. But obviously, as Vardavis takes damage, his defense gets lower, right? By the time he's taken 50 damage, his defense is 165, then the scythe might take over. There you go. So halfway through the fight, swap to the scythe. Duke. Is that Duke? 275. Okay. So it's better than the scythe at Duke, unless you hit one, let's say you hit a BGS for 30. It's not better. What about for 60? Not even then. So hitting a decent BGS still doesn't matter. Scythe feels really shit above 25%. That's probably about right. Oh, 2x2. Yeah, what's Duke? 5x5? Good call. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the Scythe is better. Will be better than current Fang on Slash? Let's have a look. On Vardavis. Change this to the Fang. Oh, mate, hold on. 2x2. Change this to Fang. And then go back to Blade. It'll be worse than the current Fang on Vardavis. How do you protect this one dying? I don't. What else do you slash? There's not really much else. It sounds like this will not make it... This will put the Blade still worse than the Scythe, which is good. That's what you want. Get snatched. Thank you, man. Welcome to the membership, dude. Slash Spiderwebs? Spiderwebs, good call. I'm interested to see what they do to the Soul Reaper axe. It will be interesting, yeah. Check out Soul Reaper vs Bladed Mood at Vardavis. Soul Reaper is better than Blade. So Soul Reaper will still be best in slot. Correct? Check out Grador compared to Fang on Stab. Just fucking both of the cunt. Ran out because I had the wrong card on my YouTube account. You're alright, man. I appreciate you coming back, dude. You're a champion. Thank you. The Soul Reaper axe is worse till you have 5 stacks. 3 stacks. 4 stacks. So 4 and 5 stacks is where you want the Soul Reaper axe. This is like it's well thought out, good upgrade. It sounds like it works pretty well, if that's the case. So that's not bad then. New hardcore side now? Yes, we're just going through this post. Sorry, taking my time with it. My apologies. Should we add a Bladed Moon as non-tradable reward from Perilous Moons? Sure. I don't think it's a bad problem by the looks of it. Should we add the option to freely interchange the runes in your rune pouch while the bank menu is open? Yes. People are going to be upset. They're like, wow, they put this in a poll with other questions. It's so easily going to pass. Yes, that's good. This will include 4 loadout options to customize. That's excellent. If you haven't seen it, it's very good. Here it is. From the Game Jam. You guys might remember. Look at that. Loadouts, so that way you can just have loadouts in the bank. You don't have to close the bank tab and change. Fucking huge. Shout out to Modash with the goods. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.